Hey guys, it's Dirt Junkie. I want to talk about zaps, also known as jab zaps. Some people call them double blips, but there really is a difference with zaps. The zaps are all about getting the back wheel off the ground. It's applied to different techniques, not just for getting over obstacles or getting up undercut ledges and stuff like that. It's also applied to like rear wheel hops. I find it very useful on the dirt bike. I actually have started using it quite a bit, just little tiny zaps to help with like an off-camber slippery tree route. I want to talk about the way that I learned to do zaps. It's sort of like a weird looking bunny hop that just by itself probably isn't very useful, but it's the exact same timing of the throttle, the clutch, and the unloading of the bike that you would apply to the rear wheel hops, to the obstacles, to anything that involves getting some of that rear wheel lift. So I'm going to start slow because there's a lot of things happening, and then we'll apply the same technique to other things. So the three key points of the zap is the rebound of the suspension, the revving of the bike, and the popping of the clutch. And the good news is all those three things kind of happen at the same time, so it can actually be kind of easy to time. And with these bunny hops, you'll usually know it as soon as you get the timing right. So let's step through it. Oh, and from this point forward, anytime I do a zap, I'm going to flash the word pop on the screen so that you know the moment I'm popping the clutch and unloading the foot pegs and off the throttle. Okay, neutral body position. I'm starting to compress the suspension. Now would also be a good time to rev the bike. And then the three key things happen at the same time. Jumping off the foot pegs to unload the suspension, getting off the throttle, and popping the clutch. The main thing people get wrong when they try this is going into a wheelie. Chances are that means you were on the throttle too long. You just need to get off the throttle sooner and send the power out with the pop of the clutch, not with throttle. It could also mean your body position was wrong. You're pretty much jumping straight up. And also if your back wheel ends up going way too high and your front wheel is low, again, that's probably due to body positioning. Just try different things. You'll know when you get it right. Let's look at the zap applied elsewhere. Once you get the timing down on flat ground, you can apply it pretty much to any size or shape obstacle. The main thing that changes is how you transfer your weight, so how you unload the foot pegs. Are you jumping forward, way exaggerated over the bars, or kind of neutral, or even sort of straight up? I think a good exercise is to visualize yourself jumping up the obstacle without the bike. And you're jumping onto it and you're pulling the bike along with you. And it helps to actually just do that. Get off the bike, stand in front of it, and jump up to it, and then kind of do the same thing on the bike. There's two things that I feel like a lot of people get wrong. One being not getting off the throttle soon enough. You know, most people know you have to get off the throttle for the bike to unload. Otherwise, if you're on the throttle, the back wheel is just going to stick to the ground and hook up. Most people know you have to get off the throttle, but a lot of people don't realize how soon you have to get off the throttle. So I'm not kidding when I say when you pop the clutch, it's, you know, you're off the throttle at the same time. The other thing I think people get wrong is probably body positioning. I think one critical thing to keep in mind is, especially if you're doing obstacles, you never want to resist the handlebars. You don't necessarily have to pull the bars into you, but you need to let it happen. You can pull them into you. You just need to let those bars go straight into your legs or hips or whatever. Because if you do push back, if you push yourself back from them, what happens is you're canceling out the rotation of the bike. So the bike has to be able to rotate to help get that height. If you pushed against the bars, that back wheel will just kind of hop up and you'll just land on the skid plate. So those are the two main things. Get off the throttle early, just sending the power out with the clutch, and pulling the bars into you. Okay, for this last part, I'm just going to talk through some of the examples here. Okay, so we're doing the wheelie, drop the front wheel into the top edge to get the compression of the suspension. On the throttle now, backing off the throttle, popping the clutch, unloading the suspension, leaving the clutch out here. You definitely want to leave the clutch out until the back wheel makes contact. That way you can continue to climb up the obstacle and pull in the clutch if needed. Take that point for the foot dab. Okay, here goes the wheelie, trying to drop that front wheel into the top edge. get compression in the suspension. On the throttle here, off the throttle, popping the clutch off the foot pegs, leaving the clutch out for the follow through, and pull the clutch in to get the front of the bike back under control here. Maybe grab a little rear brake. Hope this helps you guys. I definitely will do more how-to videos, but they'll just be on the dirt bike. And I don't know, if I get requests to do something specific on the trials bike, maybe I'll try to oblige, assuming I know how to do it. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, until next time, keep riding.